Today I'm going to show you how I made the little Steal Your Heart Raccoon Applique for my friend. First, let's talk about the supplies you'll need. I trust you have your usual sewing supplies, and you'll also need a shirt or other item you want to applique, fabric, about a 6x8 piece is the largest you'll need, the pattern pieces, which are available on my website, freezer paper, spray starch, a glue stick. It's just a regular Elmer's glue stick and it washes away, the purple is fine, matching threads, and a hand sewing needle. Optionally, you may also want to use some tricot and a wash-away stabilizer such as Sulky's Fabri-Solvi. This list is also on my website. Because I'm using a shirt that had an embellishment already, my first step is to remove that. You can actually find great deals in the sales section if you're not afraid to do a little surgery, so love your seam ripper. Now you'll want to prepare the fabric pieces with spray starch. Having the fabric nice and stiff really helps in this process, and it washes right out, so your finished product is still flexible. Spray one side of your fabric, flip it over, and iron it. Trace your pattern onto the freezer paper, the dull side, and cut your shapes out. Iron the shiny side of the freezer paper to the right side of your fabric. You'll need one of each piece except for the eyes and the ears. You want to cut two of those. Well, if you want your raccoon to look sort of normal. So now we're going to glue the pieces to the raccoon body. You'll have to heat set it with a dry iron without any steam, but that way it won't gum up your needle and you'll hold everything in place. Plus, again, it washes right out, which leaves your finished applique nice and soft. You're going to work with one piece at a time. I start with the mask and cover it with glue and position it where I want it. Then move on to the ears, the nose, the eyes, the heart. Just don't forget to iron the pieces in place when you're happy with the placement. To minimize the stitches on the back of the shirt, we're going to zigzag these pieces in place right now. I set my machine at a 1.0 length and a 3.0 width, but you can experiment and see what works best for you. Or if you have a satin stitch or applique stitch you want to use instead, that's okay also. If you're getting puckering or bubbling, then you can use a piece of wash-away stabilizer, like Sulky's Fabri-Solvi, and just put it on the back where you need that extra stability. I didn't use it for this shirt. Also note on my piece that I only sewed around the inner part of the mask and not the outer edges. If you want, you can hand stitch the mouth in place now too as well. Next, we're going to position the applique onto the shirt using glue again. Decide where you would like it and cover your pieces with glue and attach the applique. Glue the tail first and then the body, and make sure that you heat set it with your iron. Now we're going to sew the applique onto your shirt. I start with the outer edges of the mask and slightly overlap the stitches that I had before. Then I move on to the body and tail. Be careful you're only sewing the applique and the one layer of the shirt. You don't want to accidentally catch a sleeve or the back of the shirt. And also I found that on the curves, if you stop with your needle on the outside edge of the fabric, when you reposition, it overlaps a little and you don't get any gaps in your stitches. So here you can see the back of the applique, and it's pretty smooth, but I still like to cover the back with tricot. It's a soft fusible knit, and I feel like it protects the stitches and the baby's skin a little bit. Now if you're like me, you realize you forgot to hand stitch the mouth, so you can also do that now. And that's it, your applique shirt is finished. Simply wash it to remove the starch and glue, and you're ready to go. You can download the pattern pieces on my website, and if you end up using this applique design, I would love for you to share it with me.